Two moms, two marketers, two women new to the financial industry. They have a lot of questions. That's why they're bringing in financial experts to educate all of us here on A Penny or Two for Your Thoughts.
Hey everyone, it's Chantel and Liz with another episode of A Penny or Two for Your Thoughts. Dun da da da! I did it!
Okay, listeners, what you don't know or what you can't hear are the 3 times she tried prior to that.
Not only did I not say your name, I was going to say my husband's name.
Yep.
What? Speaking of.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Listeners.
you might as well just shut the podcast down and listen to something
No,
else.
it's fine. He doesn't listen to it anyway, so it's fine. So I think I have talked about him in the last 4 episodes. And the only reason why is because you and I have talked about we want to start the podcast with something, what's going on in our lives, whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's just always done stupid stuff in the last 4 months. So way to go, Chad, for helping give me some content. This morning, you know, I get up earlier before him, do all the things that I need to do. I get 6 o'clock rolls around, he's up and he's in the bathroom, whatever. And I go, hey, what's going on? Morning, da 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 da. And I'm usually not that peppy. Today, I guess I was just ready. Okay. And I started talking. Hey, did you see this thing on the news? Do you have any cough drops? Like, what? My throat is really, really sore today. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, seriously, let's talk about it. Let's talk about, breathe. Let's talk about men. Hey, Justin, I'm real sorry. We're gonna, our producer today is Justin, and thank you. Okay, just keeping this real. Yep. Let's talk about it. Yep. The men in my life are wimps. Okay, listeners, they're nodding at me, but they're not saying yes. Yes?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
The men cold thing is a real thing.
Man colds are real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so anyway, that was what happened this morning. So the day could only go up from there. So I text him later, go, how are you feeling? Better than this morning. Oh, good. But that was a text.
Yeah,
but in my head,
that you did the voice still with the...
Yeah. Better than it was.
So my husband's probably sitting here listening because he does listen to our podcast pretty religiously, and he's probably thinking to himself, yes, I'm off the hook.
Yeah, right.
No.
No, good.
Oh, no, Chris. Sorry, sweets, you're not off the hook. So mine has been in Washington, D.C. all week.
Oh, yes.
So he has ordered room service several nights.
Oh, yeah.
And one night I was on with him, and he's all of a sudden he just gets super congested, just like that. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, I don't know if I'm coming down with something. And I'm like, what did you eat? And so then he rattles off, well, I had some pizza, and then at lunch I ate some nachos. And I was like, you've had an abundance of cheese. You probably either have some sort of an intolerance to cheese or that whole gluten thing.
Oh my gosh.
And then we went into a whole conversation about how he really just needs to go get tested for that food, because literally it's like you'll just be talking to him and seconds later it's it's like, what happened to you? Too much cheese. It blocks up his sinuses. I don't know.
Such a random thing that cheese would block up your nostrils.
Well, I'm not really sure what else it would be that happens that fast.
Oh,
I don't know.
That's good.
Anyway, sorry.
Sorry, Chris.
You just got thrown under. You didn't make it you didn't make it past an episode.
Right, exactly. Oh, maybe that's their personal brand. What? Oh, good. Okay, so we have a guest today that when we said this guest was going to be on our podcast at Centris, when we were saying this, they were like, what? I mean, every single person was like, are you kidding? Oh, Katie?
Give her a hug.
Yes.
Give her a hug. Tell her we miss her.
Yeah, we're going to
One of them did say kick her in the shins.
Oh, yeah.
Who was that?
Yeah.
Well, somebody that you left all alone at 5 a.m. at a gym.
At a gym. Yeah. Kick
I'll
her
be
in the
back.
shin.
Maybe once. 5 a.m.'s too early. Give her a hug for me.
Okay, I will. Yep. Hopefully she doesn't kick me in the shin.
Yeah.
But we can certainly do that.
Oh, listeners, here we go.
There we go. This show is going to be iridescent, off the charts, right? We might jail time after this episode.
It's okay, everybody. She's
Sorry,
fine.
I'm fine.
Everything's fine.
I'm not shorting out. I promise. I promise. Chantel and I have literally been trying to find ways to get this guest on our show. Her name is Katie. She is actually a former Centris employee, and we absolutely adore her. I think everybody at Centris adores her. If you say her name, everybody's like, "Oh, Katie."
It's true. It's so true.
Yeah, everybody just loves you. So about a year ago, right?
Like 6 months.
6 months-ish, she decided to move on and become a full...
It's still not okay.
Still better.
Still not okay. And become a full-time personal stylist and certified color consultant with House of Color in the Papillion, Omaha area. And she's killing it. She helps busy professionals simplify their closets, shop more intentionally, and show up with confidence through color and... Oh, I almost said that wrong. Color analysis. Style consultations, wardrobe edits, and event or travel styling. Yes, we almost had to edit that section out. Essentially, she's helping people with their personal brand. So please welcome to the show the one, the only, Katie Braga.
Aw,
Oh, gosh.
thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, I'm just happy to see your face.
Do you think that I could just come back in some capacity where I can just go visit everyone? And
Yes.
Just sit and talk to people?
Yeah, it's like an emotional support
Right.
person.
Kind of
just
like
a
the
therapy
dog.
session. Yeah, we could get you a vest and you could wear it and it would be in your colors.
be my
And you
colors.
could just sit outside
If
my office.
people had a rough meeting, I would just go in after
She
the
could
fact
sit at the table back there.
Oh, yeah.
and just be the support.
I love this.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to like maybe
Okay, let's figure this
Yeah.
out.
intertwine this in.
Yeah, I
You
think a job description will write that up. And,
Right.
first, I'll get the vest though, because I really like. When we think about personal brand, like you just exude. Whatever. So much energy and positivity, and you were the first person that welcomed me to Centris. You rode up on the elevator with me. I had no idea who you were. Oh my gosh, she's so cool. I am not cool enough to work here. Great.
It wasn't your birthday, was it? It was you started on your birthday. Or who
No.
started on their birthday? No one? No?
Nope.
Okay, never mind. Nope, never mind.
No, but you just have this energy, and now you're doing.
I started on yours.
Yes. Okay, I knew that.
There was-
I
there's
knew
the
there was a
birthday.
birthday connection.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I was like, it's a really good day.
And you were like, and you were my birthday present? Oh, no.
And so now you've moved on from Centris and you're doing House of Color, which we did our colors. And listeners, if you have not done colors, I never thought I would do it. I was just like, no, I don't know. I don't know why. I just,
A lot of people.
I want to dig into that. There's something there why I was worried about it.
Yep.
But anyway,
Wait till she has her vest, and then you can talk to her about it.
I need some emotional support.
I mean, you've done it, so you're good now.
It was life changing, honestly.
Yeah.
Because now I really do look at things, even though this isn't quite my color today. But I'm very nervous being around her when I don't have my colors.
Oh, stop. We always say there's no color police, but you really do you feel more intentional when you're buying things.
Yep.
Yes.
And so then you actually wear the things that are in your closet.
Yeah.
And I think even going into this year, I'm like so much on the bandwagon of quality over quantity, you know?
Oh, I love that.
That's a good, I like
And
that.
now that you say that, because I forgot that you said that during our analysis, that get rid of the colors, but don't just save it because you think you're going to wear it.
Right.
Because now that I think about it, I haven't. I've swayed away from the blacks and the
Right.
things like that I always wore just to kind of hide. So it was really helpful. So highly recommend it to anybody. Katie and her group are just amazing. And Downtown Papillion, it is just the cutest.
Yeah.
You're part of like a Hallmark movie when you come to
Oh,
your
my
appointment.
goodness.
And like there's music playing down the street, and then even the cute little shops. Like there's a little wine bar, a coffee shop, all the little fun spots to visit too.
Yeah. So you came in and visited the other day, and then you said you're starting some new pieces to the puzzle of House of Color, and you brought up personal brand, and we're like, okay, so we're in marketing. Brand is our life.
Yep.
You know, we love every aspect of it. And today we were actually talking in our management meeting about how when you're talking about a brand, it's how it makes you feel. You know, we wear the type of shoes we do, or, you know, the running shoes or the clothes or whatever, you know, we buy the cars because it makes us feel something. Mm-hmm. And when it's a positive feeling, then that's how you can just create more loyalty and trust and really grab relationships. So we're going to jump into some questions today about personal brand, and tell us a little bit more about that as we explore the world of Katie Braga.
Yeah. I think first we have to define it. So how would you define personal brand, and why is it so important in especially in today's business world?
Right. I would define a personal brand as being able to showcase how you are. We all have to hopefully get dressed every morning. And so
that's the hope.
So even just starting in your closet, starting in your morning, and how you set the tone for the day by what you wear and what you pick and choose. It really is, you know, you can showcase what you stand for and just who you are as an individual. And I think even a place like Centris, it is a financial, you're working with people's money. And so it's so important to build that trust, because when there's so many different options, I mean, there's so many different options out there, and it's like every corner there might be another financial or just whatever industry you're in. There's so many choices that people have. And so I think building that trust right away and forming that connection can help people say, can I trust you? Are you credible? Do you honor the organization's core values? And so having a strong personal brand can help you bring that to the table when you're meeting with different people. So.
And that's not just what you're wearing, right?
Right.
It's not how you look. It is what is coming out of you, like literally, you know, what is surrounding you, how you're talking, how you're speaking, how you're interacting.
Yeah,
right?
I think
it's
too,
tone,
even when you're like, I didn't think I needed a color analysis, or people are like, style, I know what I like, I don't care. But truly, it's anything but like a trivial or superficial. It's like when you feel good, you know, a day where you're like, I feel good with maybe what I'm wearing, it gives you that energy to own the room. Or when you walk into a meeting, it's like you're going to feel that empowerment within you.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some misconceptions people have about personal branding?
Yeah, just like you said, it's, you know, you're like, oh, I don't need it, or it doesn't apply to me. Only maybe the C-suite executives or upper level management need this. But whether or not we think that we have a personal brand, intentional or not, everybody truly does have a personal brand. So even if we haven't really looked at it, I think this is the perfect podcast to start out January, because even if you've looked and you'll kind of do a deep dive into your personal brand, it's like you can always refine it and tweak a few things to make it align with you.
I love when we do training at Centris, one of the first things that Robin Fredu would say was dress for success. Dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
Yes.
And I always love that. And I think it goes beyond the specific attire. It's how do you want to be seen? How do you want to interact with people? It just goes, it's everything that makes up you that people want to connect with you.
Yeah,
you know?
I think so too. I think it's even how you walk into a meeting.
Yeah.
How you set your laptop down. That has nothing to do with what you're wearing, but it's really still sending energy and defining your personal brand.
Absolutely.
And I even think too, it's body language. So I always remember in one of my media trainings, they told us, don't cross your arms because it gives off a perception that you're not receiving whatever's being given to you or you are closed off.
Right.
So always sit and especially like if you're in a meeting, a lot of times sit up against the table.
Yeah.
Like you're interested in the conversation and what's going on. So even body language is your personal brand, like how you're sitting at a table or standing in a meeting, even like if you're
right.
even presenting, you don't want to stand up there and present this way, because that shows you're closed off to the crowd of what they're going to say to you.
Right. Exactly.
That really does kind of lead into the confidence level of it, right? And how you're perceived, and how does your personal brand presentation impact your credibility, or, you know, what people think about you, or your overall professional growth?
Yeah, a lot of times even during a style class, I'll say that your confidence is often communicated before you're even allowed to speak. And so, you know, sometimes even at a conference or at a meeting, it's the people walk in and their energy, you know, might like show confidence without even being introduced to them. And so I think that's how it all kind of plays in. It's a major role in perception.
Yeah. I have so many questions, and they're just like, I'm going off track here. But I think about this in a recent meeting I was in, and to your point, people walk in we've talked about going to events, and you walk in and you just feel like everybody is more confident than you, and you have this imposter syndrome. Like that can come in crazy for women. We've been talking about this recently. How does that play into your personal brand too? And how do you stop it from becoming part of your brand?
Yeah, I mean, everybody, even myself, it's like I've had a defined personal brand and I feel really strongly about it. But even in instances where, you know, maybe at the House of Color conference, it's a whole bunch of stylists. Right. And so you might get that imposter syndrome, but I think you're able to kind of quiet that noise a little bit more, the more consistent you refine and look back at it, because a lot of times style, personal brand, it is fluid. So you have to continually look at it and refine it. Yeah. It's not something like, okay, one and done, I'm good. It's you're going to have to kind of flex that muscle to use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how would you go about starting to define your personal brand? What are some of the steps you take to start building that?
Yeah, I think one of the big things is just getting clear on how you want to be perceived. And so taking a look at yourself, I do an exercise with clients where we kind of look at a list of words, and I'll have them circle words that they would want to be perceived and then ones that they wouldn't. And if one comes to mind, let that happen. Because a lot of times we don't even take the time to really think about that. And so one of the personal example is, you know, I have a couple words that come to mind: put together, like chic, approachable, trustworthy. All of those would kind of play into my perception words. And so I think about that all the time when getting dressed. When I approach someone, I want someone to feel instantly welcomed when I'm in their presence. And so the big thing is that nothing should feel forced. It's like we're all going to have different words, and you should feel authentic in yourself as well.
When you were, mine would be awkward.
I know. I'm like, what? You could think of some words that would you have one that comes to mind for you?
Wow, that's a great question.
Yeah, and I mean, even just looking, I mean, it can be anything. It could be authoritative. You know, we have authoritative, boss lady, sporty.
That's me. Sporty. My dad says I run like Phoebe from Friends, so I feel that I would like to be sporty.
Oh my gosh, you could do that, right? This is your time to refine that, Chantel.
Yeah,
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, I think we need to address this on our next podcast and come back with this and say, what were our words?
Yeah, right?
Personal brand.
Yeah.
Like there's just so many that you could grasp onto, but what is that?
Yeah,
what's that one strong word?
Or even, I wouldn't necessarily pick one. I would give yourself a few words, because in different times and circumstances, you're going to lean into one or the other.
Yeah.
So I mean, even 3 to 5 words. You know, you could focus on that.
How did you sit down and determine yours?
Just looking at, you know, what if I couldn't speak, if I wasn't, like I didn't have a chance to introduce myself or something like that, what would I want you to perceive me as? Because as much as we don't like to think we place judgment and things, I mean, it dates back to when people like showing your hands is a sign like friend versus foe. And so what would I want others to think about me?
Right.
And so getting clear on that.
Yeah. It's great.
Deep Thoughts.
All right.
By Katie
By
Braga.
Katie Braga.
I love that.
All right.
Okay. Now you got the wheels spinning upstairs.
I'll send you guys a list. Because
Okay,
sometimes
that's
when you
good,
can
yeah.
see some words, it helps.
I mean, we're wordy, so I mean, we could find words all day,
Right.
but having a list is helpful.
Right.
Sporty is going to stay in mine.
Yeah,
I mean,
I like-
you're not taking that one away.
No, I'm not going
but,
to. I won't take sporty. I will
really-
take, how about girly? No? Okay. I don't know.
Oh.
Frou-frou?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So you mentioned kind of back in the old days, people would show their hands and things like that, but now in present time, I don't know how that ties, but I'm going to make it work.
I couldn't
We're
help
gonna
it
keep
because you
going.
went like this.
I know, I did
and I
jazz
didn't
hands.
know if you're jazz hands or you're doing 6-7 or what.
Jazz hands for our viewers, listeners. You can watch us on YouTube if you want to see my jazz hands. It kind of ties into that. So, we started off where you could just listen to people. It's a phone call, right? But now we can work remote. We can work from home. And that video is literally only showing you from the chest up.
We don't have to wear pants.
We don't have to wear pants. So your personal brand really just needs to be on the top half of your body.
You should wear pants. You should wear something.
Yes, actually, folks, we recommend you just completely dress yourself, even if you're working remotely. But anywho, Katie, back to you. Do you think that remote work actually makes personal branding more challenging, more important, and why?
Yeah, I actually think it's both. I think with remote and only being virtual, it can kind of be tricky because a lot of times when you enter a room, like we said, entering a meeting, things like that, you can kind of feel the energy. And with a screen, it's really hard to channel that energy. I know a lot of times Zoom calls, you start with that small talk and you try to pass that awkward time when people get in. But I still think there's something about being in person that makes it a little bit easier. But a lot of times we'll talk about, even during an appointment, the communication zone and getting from your neck up to really be how you want it to be, that's sometimes where the colors come back, because if someone's always wearing black, a lot of times it can be a little bit harsh on people or not as approachable, where it's I'll tell people, even if they haven't had their colors done, maybe go with a navy. It's going to be a little bit softer than a black would be. And so I think it's equally as tricky with the virtual environment. I think in person it's a little bit easier to connect and feel the warmth of someone.
Yeah.
Right? That two-dimensional aspect of it makes it really hard.
Yeah, especially when you were saying people walking into the room, I can visualize that, seeing people walk in, and then you're just sitting here, and and then there's always a delay in your conversation, so you're talking over people, and
or you freeze.
Yes,
and in the most awkward position.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Which could damage
and it's
your personal
you
brand.
have the noises, and it's just always awkward.
Yeah.
So
Is there some just practical ways that we can do a little bit better? You said, the head, shoulders up, but is there other practical ways that we can kind of prepare ourselves?
Yeah, I think just showing up prepared, using your camera and your voice intentionally. And like we said, talking over each other. Sometimes it can be hard on Zoom because you're I want to say something.
Yeah.
But not feeling like you necessarily have to be the loudest, just being consistent, clear, and present. And I always, anytime I'm meeting with someone, even in person or virtual, I think recapping it and sending them a follow-up is a nice way to say hey, I listen, I know my part, what's your part?
Yeah.
Is a really good thing for your personal brand.
I think too, I find it interesting how many people don't turn their camera on.
Yes.
Especially when you're a group. We were in a meeting the other day where we were with some partners, and they are great partners, and we love working with them, but nobody had their camera on. And I don't know if I've actually ever seen them. Now,
Same.
And so that can also convey your personal brand. Like, why don't you want to like look at me? We're still looking at each other in the eye, even over Zoom, and that's so helpful because you can see the body language a little bit.
Yeah.
So turn that camera on.
Yeah, and I think too, like we said earlier, it's like building the trust.
Yeah.
And like that, I think is a really easy way to build the trust.
Absolutely.
Is having your camera on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can look them in the eye still. I mean, you
Make
can
sure
still
they're
see
not napping.
Right.
Right.
You know?
You really, or just, we're multitasking. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes.
I'm thinking they're working from home. They didn't get ready. They didn't give the time to get ready for me.
Exactly.
I mean, that's my perception.
Correct.
And they're multitasking.
Right.
And that might not be it at all. But
Yeah, and
that's how I
that's
feel.
a good example of how like it can affect your negative personal
Right.
brand. It's like,
Right.
okay, they didn't take the time to show up for me.
Right.
Do different jobs or industries require different approaches to personal branding?
Yeah, I think your values and strengths should stay consistent, but how you communicate them could be totally different. I think, being in my style studio, color studio, I might do things a little bit differently than I would at Centris, but who I am, I mean, probably not. I'd still dance around and be goofy. But different rooms, but the person's still the same. And I think that's the big part of defining your personal brand is allowing yourself to be authentic, because you can tell when something's a little bit forced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a great, goes into the next question. How do you adapt to it?
Yeah.
Because that environment, like you just saying from your studio to Centris, yes, obviously a financial, but how?
Yeah, I think language has a lot to do with it, and like demonstrating that sometimes your language changes, your body, your tone, but it's still built on your strengths and your standards. And so, I mean, even instead of me saying like, oh, I'm a personal stylist, it becomes I help people make confident decisions quickly. So it's the same brand, it's just a little bit different way of saying it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I do too. Kind of makes me look at how, and you kind of got me thinking when you asked the question to Katie, I've got two roles too. I was
just thinking about that.
So I've got my marketing job at Centris, a financial, but then I go and I coach athletes at a CrossFit gym. And so my personal brand, I'm still the same goofy, awkward. I try to make people feel comfortable and laugh. And I want to show that I'm here to help. So I try to do that. I guess I do the same thing I do at Centris that I do there. Yeah, the way I speak is probably a little different because I'm in that leadership coaching job. But yes, I'm still coaching our employees too on how to convey our brand. So there is a little overlap.
Right. It's like you're still the same person.
Yeah.
It's just maybe you're tweaking the language, that you're using with your CrossFit students versus when you're in a meeting with a vendor, things like
or
that.
I'm wearing leggings and a tank top.
Right. Yeah.
Which is appropriate.
At the gym. Not at Centris. So yes, the personal brand, that side of it, it may not be who we are as a person on, that we're outward, but it's that view, like what am I wearing? So I'm wearing slacks and a sweater to Centris. I would not wear that to coach.
Right.
You don't want me squatting in slacks.
And too, it's like you want to be.
Or maybe you do. I don't know.
That one time at Centris Celebrates You, and there was...
It didn't end well?
No, there was rippage of the pantage and...
Things happen. So it's okay.
Don't have dance party. It's okay.
Yep.
So, next question.
So if we think about, leaders and maybe that C-suite or just people in that leadership role, how can they use personal branding to inspire and then lead their teams effectively?
Yeah, I think that leaders have a really unique opportunity to set the tone for their teams and their personal brand if they're calm, consistent, clear, their energy that they're taking up portrays that, their team is going to be stronger and perform better.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you see the movies where the bosses are, coming in hot and just in the energy in the room takes up that, where, I mean, I know firsthand Centris has some great leaders. And so, I mean, even the little tiny things that they would remember about employees says something to their personal brand.
Absolutely.
And so I think they can kind of set the tone for their team.
And it shouldn't feel that you have to be on all the time, because there are going to be days when you walk in and it's like there's hard things going on, or whatever that looks like. But again, it's how do I say this? Just, I guess, interact with it, or how do you handle it to make sure, like, hey, okay, this is a day, but we're going to do this.
And just another good reminder of when your personal brand is developed, it's like on those bad days, when someone's like, it's just a tough moment.
Yeah.
That's not who they are.
Yeah.
Because you've developed that and you've gained that trust where you know that about each other. And I think that's a really big thing with teams.
And I think too, because you know them and you trust them, you can kind of help maybe bring them back to where they can exude that confidence again or be that happy, bubbly person. You can kind of help pull that back out.
Yeah. Because it's like, you have to be authentic. You're going to have times where it's not going to go as smooth.
Yeah.
And so
life's hard.
Right.
I love that, what you said, though, the trust. And it goes back to just any brand, personal or any, like, if you have a situation, a customer service issue or something, if you've built that brand to a point where they are trusting you, then that one moment where maybe it didn't go so well, maybe you're at a restaurant and it wasn't a great experience, doesn't mean you never have to go back there. Right. Because you've built that trust. It was a one situation, and the same with that one person, you've built trust, we're moving on.
I mean, everyone's allowed to have an off day, but it's like when you, from the get-go, and I think that's where, from the start, defining your personal brand and gaining that trust helps them to make those decisions later on where they don't have to, say, oh, I'm just going to switch to the next. It's like, no, I'm going to give them another chance.
Yeah,
give
absolutely.
them another opportunity.
Absolutely.
What advice would you give to someone who feels they need to fit in rather than stand out? And I feel like that was an appropriate question for me to ask.
Yeah.
Very fitting. No, I'm serious. Like, I am somebody who always feels like I need to fit in.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm really curious about this answer.
Yeah. You were like, when you got your colors done and you had like these bright colors and bright lipstick, you came in the next day and we're like, oh my God. I mean, you're beautiful, but it was that, wow. I mean, it was just this pop, and we're like, oh my gosh, you could just tell how energized you were, but that was not your comfort zone.
No.
And me taking black out of my life was the color black of all my clothes.
I know. I think about that all the time. Like, even when I'm watching productions, or I went to some Christmas concert over the holidays, and all the production was in black, and I went into this like deep mode of like, okay, you see how they're all trying to hide because they're wearing black. And so people, I feel like when you're wearing black, you are trying to hide or just kind of be a little bit quieter.
Yeah.
And so I think fitting in might help you feel okay short term, but rarely builds the opportunity to like long term. It's like picking what you know and really refining that and staying consistent with that, because like we've talked about, consistency is going to build that trust, and the right rooms like won't make you feel like you have to shrink or go smaller. They'll let you come in your bright lipstick, and B-list.
Yeah. We often think, just going to an event the other night, we often think we go to these big events, no one's really looking at you unless you're the person on the stage or doing the things.
Unless you have the microphone.
Yeah. Yep. No one really is. They're sure that you're looking at people, but they don't care.
Right. I think that's another even good reminder when you asked about, imposter syndrome. It's true. It's like everyone's kind of focused on internally themselves and how they're feeling, and oh, she's looking at me. And so they really don't mind, no one's caring how you're showing up.
Because we're all just worried about what we are.
Right.
I hate what I'm wearing. Oh my gosh.
I mean, really, like the only time you are like thinking about somebody else's, you're like, oh, wow, I really like those shoes, or, oh, wow, that dress is beautiful.
Right.
I mean, normally 9 out of 10 times you're looking at something as a positive.
Right,
you're like,
right.
wow, I really like that
Yes.
tie on that guy. That
Yes.
really brings out his eyes or whatever. You know, it's a positive versus a
Right.
negative.
Yeah.
Right.
It's more of the maybe walking in for the first time into a situation, maybe if you're by yourself or whatever, you know, a big crowd, you don't know people. Again, that's where personal brand really stands out. Do you have the confidence to just, okay, let's do this?
Right.
You know?
And I think digging deep, and that's where, I mean, it's a muscle you're going to have to flex. If you never give yourself those opportunities,
Yeah.
you won't feel that confidence, you
Yes.
know? But it's like, sometimes I'll just give myself that internal pep talk, like,
Yep.
okay, you got this. Here we go.
You're building your business. So that's something I remember when you
Yeah.
were starting and all the things, you are still going to so many things, meeting so many women, so many people throughout the city. That had to have been difficult at first.
Even networking is not my favorite thing to do just because it feels a little awkward. But that's another thing that I know I have to do it. Even like social media. It's like, it's part of the business now. And so as much as it feels a little bit, I'm like, okay, well, I'm growing. So I have to do this. Here's my face, you know, because it is, people want to see the face behind the brand.
Yeah.
And so it's really important, and it's important to make those connections in the community too, because it's like you can be on Facebook, Instagram, but then those in-person networking events are just equally as important.
Yeah.
Right. And like you said, you want to build that trust.
Yeah.
And so if they can see your face, hear your voice, they can build that trust with you and not just graphics on a page
Right.
or words in a caption.
Right. Yes, exactly.
I think that's the scariest thing is social media,
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have no idea what to believe, what is true, what is the real brand, what's the real person that you're going to get. So how do you see this all evolving, someone's personal brand, and how do you know it's going to be legitimate?
Right. I think consistency wins. I mean, with AI all over the place, and you're like, is that an actual video or was that? And so showing up, showing your face, talking, you know, engaging with your audience. But your edge becomes like your trust, your perspective, and how you make people feel. And so that's where even just tying it back into your personal brand, it's like, are you warm, welcoming to people?
Yeah.
And so how
Absolutely.
you're making them feel.
Speaking of AI, how can people ensure their personal brand actually feels authentic and not forced?
Yeah, I think defining, like, if it feels forced, then you probably are like copy and pasting someone else's style. And that's where sometimes even digging into the words of how you want to be perceived and perception, it's like authentic branding will feel really intentional. And so a lot of times I think the best compliment is like when someone says, oh, that looks like Katie, or that feels like Katie, because that means like I've made a lasting impression in a positive way. And so I think just kind of auditing that and going back there.
I love that.
I do too.
Yeah, it's great. I love this question, and I don't know how I'm going to answer it yet, but I've been thinking about it. So, Katie, if you were to look back at yourself 10 years ago,
Yeah.
how has your personal brand evolved?
Yeah, the big word that comes to mind is clarity. And I think tying in my personality with my style and my words and my perception has really helped me evolve to, and even in 2026, I'm still like, this is my year of quality over quantity. And what I mean by that is just being more intentional and choosing the pieces that really feel like me. And that's where, you know, defining yourself and defining what you stand for, your brand, can kind of help you really feel like, okay, what makes me feel like 100% that day, versus feeling like I have to follow the next trend or the next, you know, viral hit, whatnot.
Exactly. Liz, how about you?
Oh, I knew this question was coming. So interestingly enough, 10 years ago, I was going through a complete life change. I was getting divorced. I had recently just really ramped up in the CrossFit, space. And so at that point, I was kind of lost. I had lost a personal brand. I didn't know who I was. And I was finding myself. So I was really kind of digging deep and trying to figure out who I was, what I wanted. And I think because I started to have confidence, I was looking more to be myself. And I felt like I was trying to find that authentic person in me. I was trying to be somebody I wasn't for so long. You and I talked about this, how we both worked in industries that was very male dominant. And we felt like we had to prove something. And so we would have to, go have the happy hours, go have the drinks, go play golf, do all the things, sit in meetings and try to have a voice where maybe our voice wasn't heard necessarily or as loud. Let's put it that way. So 10 years ago, I was finding my personal brand. And I think that's where I really kind of learned that I am who I am and that's okay. And I don't have to be somebody I'm not. And so that's where I really came into owning my awkwardness and my goofiness and embracing that fun side of who I am. And I'm not a stiff, like I wasn't buttoned up, right? I'm put together. Don't worry, guys.
She wears pants.
I wear pants and I wear tops, and I brush my hair and I brush my teeth. So a little buttoned up in that aspect, but I'm not stuffy. Let's put it, I'm not stuffy. And I realized I didn't need to be that. I could be me and everybody around me would accept that. And if they didn't, that's when I really started to set kind of those boundaries too.
I remember having that conversation with you too.
How about Chantel? If you were to look at yourself 10 years ago.
The part of this question that bothers me is 10 years ago because I'm looking at where this bigger number that's coming up in another year, but which I've been struggling with.
Yes.
So I think back in my late 30s, early 40s, I was in that same boat. I think I was just trying to fit in. I was not necessarily in my role, but just trying to keep up. I was working out a lot and I loved what I was doing and I loved that aspect of things and I felt so good. And then COVID hit and those things kind of changed, obviously. And I lost that for a while. And I had this period of, what am I doing? That was like the one thing I had that was mine that I was really good at. And so I realized it was just more of a calm. I don't need to fit in all the time or do the hard things. Or it was more of maybe I didn't need to be working out the way I was, but maybe it's more of this calm. And so I really found a different peace from that. And it's not necessarily fitting in. It's just finding what makes you happy. So that's been it's been really eye-opening for me for my personal brand. And just it's just too short. Life's too short. There are going to be days that are hard. Yeah. And 100%. You're going to be in a bad mood. And if Chad's listening to this, he's really going to be like, this I call major baloney on this. But you just have bad days, but if you can just try to just find that spark, I think that's, for me, is really important right now. And we also talked about, at that time 10 years ago, I was raising kids, and running and doing all the things for them. And that becomes your brand. A part of it is being that mom or being that spouse or whatever that looks like, being that friend, taking care of everybody else. And at some point, it's kind of like you got to take care of yourself too.
Right.
And love your own personal brand that you create.
Right. And that's where I think, your personal brand is fluid because it's like different seasons of life are going to require different outputs from you. And so being able to look and say like, okay, what do I need to tweak or what do I want this year?
Absolutely.
And then also too, finding a place where you fit, where your personal brand fits with an organization, or it fits with the values and the mission and the things like that. Like I loved my time at the advertising agency that I was at, and I spent 10 years there, but I still struggled, and it was that lost feeling. Felt like I had to fit in and do all the things, and switching to Centris has really helped me find, even evolve and refresh my personal brand, meeting people like Katie who can help me see that a little more clearly and things like that. So I think that has a lot to play with it too, is your environment. It really helps
and
you open your
if
eyes.
You need to edit that, because it's like when you walk into Centris, you feel it.
You do.
We always say that, but it's so true.
Yeah.
And even just now looking back, it's like you feel that connection, and you don't feel like, oh, I have to shrink.
Yep.
It's like you can be your authentic self, and that's a huge piece.
Yeah, and I would say that to every listener. If you're at a place that you don't feel that, there is something out there for you.
Right.
Like, look for that, because, and you will know it in your interview, you will know it, but ask the questions, because that's so important to feel that.
Right.
Yeah. So you can be your authentic self.
I really don't want this to end, so I don't want to ask the last question.
I know.
Do we have any other questions we can ask that doesn't?
Anyways, I'm going to come back as a personal support human.
Okay,
with a vest.
We're getting the vest. We'll get it off of Amazon. They gave me access to Amazon now. So.
They have colors.
They have colors.
Different colors.
I know we're
I'll
in the
do
same.
Purple.
Okay, we can do that. All right. So we always do this. Our podcast is named A Penny or Two for Your Thoughts, and we just always like to leave our listeners with that one key takeaway that they can walk away with from today's show. So what would you leave our listeners with?
I think just a good question to ask yourself is, am I showing up like the person I want to be known as? And we talked about the hard days. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be intentional, and clarity builds trust, and then trust creates opportunity.
I love that.
I do too.
That's so good.
Especially, I feel like a place like Centris, it's like you have so much opportunity. And when you
really
refine your personal brand and people trust you, it creates opportunities.
Absolutely. It does. I'm trying not to do the outro.
You know what? Before we do the outro, I want to give a shout out. Katie doesn't probably even know this yet, but I want to give a shout out to our colleague. This is Megan is leaving Centris, and she is moving to be closer to her family. And
take the best job for her personal brand.
She is. Yeah, absolutely. And to speak to someone who has grown their personal brand, that girl, like, she started as an intern, and then her face is all over social media for Centris. But shout out to Megan for supporting us with our podcast. She has done so many things to make sure the podcast was live, and
giving us a pep talk.
Yes. She's like, oh, it'll always be good. And she's just an amazing human, and we're going to miss her incredibly, but she's going in to do some great things, and we want to give a shout out to her. So
thanks, Megan, for everything.
Oh, I need to give Megan a hug.
Even the blooper reel she created.
Oh my gosh.
So good. So anyway.
All right. Thank you, Katie, so much for joining us today, helping us understand personal brand a little bit more, opening our eyes maybe a little bit to ask ourselves some internal questions, and those words, we're going to come up. So send us those words. We'll look at them, and we'll come up with our 3 words.
Absolutely.
Can I do that instead of writing myself a letter?
No, you're still writing a letter. I asked her to write a letter so that what do you want at the end of the year? Like, what do you want?
Oh, that's so good.
And so you write it to yourself. Like, this is what's going to happen.
Year, you're going to be happy you did
Yes, this is going to happen. This is what my year is going to be like. And then you open it and you read, and you're like, yeah, I killed it.
Liz just laughed.
That's all I've been doing these days.
She's this nervous laugh, and it's just, I don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to help her. I don't know.
It's good. We're fine. Everything's fine. What was that? Oh, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine.
That's it.
It's a little dumpster on fire. Yep. It's fine. It's fine. It's just part of my personal brand. It's my theme song. Anyway, thank you so much, Katie. Thank you, listeners. Listeners, if you can keep liking, rating, and reviewing this podcast, we can continue to bring you more great content from subject matter experts like Katie. Be sure to check out our website, centrisfcu.org, for more great content. And if you want to chat with one of our financial experts, you can just give us a call at 402-334-7000. Thank you so much for listening, and go out and make it a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.